heard you being traded. Like,
AJ, would you say you're in the best shape of your career?
I think so. It's always stuff to improve on. I'm always trying to get better at that. I like to say for myself, I can easily play 5 plays, but being effective for those 5 plays is a deal breaker for me.
So that's why. That's your motivation.
It is.
Devontae said yesterday that the receivers have more freedom in the new scheme. Do you agree? Could you elaborate?
Yeah.
And how? How specifically do the receivers have more freedom?
I'll say just when it comes to certain routes, trusting each other. Me and Jalen, Smitty, everybody on the field, just trusting each other to be on the same page, and to make sure you at the spot when it's time. I think that's a pretty good thing, pretty fun thing for a wide receiver too.
As I'm sure you heard, Nick made a point of mentioning that you were at the rookie minicamp, kind of watching those guys. A, why was that something you wanted to do on a Friday during the offseason? And B, what did you see from those rookies and tryout guys?
First of all, man, I love football. I was itching to get back. And I wanted to, be around the guys. If I could help somebody with something, I'd do that. And just trying to be a good leader.
AJ, how did the way the season ended last year, both personally and for the team, shape your mentality heading into this offseason?
Not every loss is a loss. I don't even like to say a loss is a loss. It's always a lesson, always something to learn from. And I feel like you better learn something from it, or it's going to return. And I'm always going to have that mentality to put in the work, grind and, put my best foot forward, and attack each and every day moving forward. Like, I can't worry about the past. I can't worry about yesterday. And, I'm here right now, and that's all I have today. Like, today practice, that's all I'm granted with, and that's what I got to do and give it my all today.
Have you changed much about your off-season training program?
Have I changed? Yeah, I won't get into what I'm doing, but yeah, I always ask myself at the end of the season, can I work harder? What else can I do? And those are the questions I ask myself, and the answer is always yes.
And hey, there's a lot of talk about the third receiver spot, trying to find someone for that role. When you look at the receiver room and some of the guys here like Ross and Campbell and Covey and some of the others in their draft picks, what do you see? What's your view on that?
I see a lot of competition. It's going to be fine. With the guys who compete, man, those guys are making plays, as you see yesterday. And it's good for the room. Competition is really good for the room. It's going to push every single body. We don't want anybody in that room complacent. And, always trying to get better and striving to get better, So.
On the other side, AJ.
Has anybody stood out? The whole group has been working extremely hard. A couple guys been working back from injury. But they want to improve, and that's the positive.
On the other side.
Mm-hmm. What have you seen from him in terms of his growth past years?
Kelee is difficult at times, going against, because you go against him. I go against him a lot. He's definitely growing. You can see a different step with him. I'm not gonna put too much pressure on him up here, but you definitely see a different step with him, and he's hungry. He's competing at a high level. So.
Have you also had the chance to go against the two new rookie cornerbacks, Cooper and Quinyon, and kind of your thoughts on
Q doesn't talk as much, guys. I don't think y'all know that. He doesn't really say anything. And the first words I heard from him, it was like, "Hey, that route was trash." I said, "What?" I said, "You don't even talk and you talking trash." And so it was funny. It was funny to hear from him, And I told him, I said, "All right, I like to see that. I want to see you step up, because he's not gonna be playing against me. He's gonna be playing against other guys, and I want to see him, hold his own." And I told him, I said, "All right, you took the first step, but I said, now you got to back it up. You gonna have to walk. You have to walk that walk." And I've been looking forward to getting some reps against him, So.
Isaiah Rogers is another guy.
Uh-huh.
Went through some stuff. He's off for 500 days. How impressive has he been getting back into it?
For a guy that has not played football for a year and coming back, it looks like he's been playing nonstop. Honestly, I'm gonna give praise to him, give him his flowers. You can tell he loves football. You know, he's happy to be back. You can tell he's jumping all over the field. You know, he just literally just told me and walked through. He gonna have 2 picks today, and I told him not against me, but go get him though. You know, but he's happy, man. He's happy to be back. You know, he's flying around. You know, and he's gonna do special stuff for it this year.
We're talking about all these young corners. How much is having these kind of guys going to raise the competition level of practice and especially into camp?
Yeah, you know, having these young corners who talk a little, you know, it's fun. You know, that gets practice going. I want somebody to talk noise to me. You know, Slay and James, you know, those guys are chill, laid back, you know, good guys. But you can't really talk trash to them, like, but they just gonna do their job and say, "I got you," yeah, or something like that. But those guys, they hungry. The young guys are hungry. You know, it's good. Like I said, it's not just for our room, but just for the team. You know, for their room too. You know, to raise the level of expectation. So.
We'll do a couple more for AJ. We've got
Can you tell me
Mailata
anything
coming
about the chemistry of a team at this time of year? What do you feel like the chemistry is right here right now at this time?
Man, we have a great team camaraderie. We've been enjoying each other. You know, we're still in the early development and process. You know, we're still trying to figure things out on the field, put things together. You know, so you really can't get a feel like I can't come up here and say we're gonna do this and that. You know, practices. You know, it goes like this because it's June. You know, it's supposed to be like that. You know, when we put the pads on and we get ready for camp. You know, and you still really don't know then until you go out there and you play football, and that's when everybody will know.
A couple wide receivers.
We'll get to both of you guys.
See out of a new offense, and how do you kind of think about
What would I want to see? Honestly, I'm all ears. It was nothing that I was like wanting to see or eager to see. You know, I was happy or not happy, where I was excited to work with Kellen. You know, and to learn from him and see what he thinks and how he calls the games. But so yeah.
new veteran wide receivers in the room who have high draft pedigree in Paris Campbell and John Ross. Paris said part of the reason he came here was to watch greatness, to be close to you and Devontae. What's been your impression of those 2 guys so far?
Man, they've been doing really good, man. They've been really competing, making plays. You know, in this league you have to make plays, and they've been doing that every day. And just to hear Paris just say that, you know, it means a lot. You know, because he's in my class. You know, and so it's a good feeling.
That number you gave us last year was 23 miles per hour for your off-season training.
Yeah.
Is there a number this year that you hit?
I hit 23 again. Yeah. So.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Jordan Mailata.
You stayed a couple years too long.
I roll reverse for real. I sure used to say that. Well, how y'all doing? Good.
How you liking the new Vic Fangio system?
I like it a lot. Honestly, I see a lot of the guys playing fast, more simplified. I mean, you seeing people being able to just show their athleticism, and man, I'm excited for the young guys because you know they get a real good look at what the NFL is all about.
What does that first look at young guys like?
Oh, seeing with Q, that boy, he's breaking. He's as advertised. As far as, you know, just seeing him out there playing fast. I mean, you see why he went first round. And Cooper, same thing. I mean, smart, picking up on this little stuff on what some of the guys do. Because how I tell, too, a little bit of how a guy come in, I see Lane all the time. So I know Lane. So you can start to see picking up little stuff that AJ and the guys do. And, you know, I was kind of surprised to see him talking stuff to AJ one day, and I was like, okay, I like his attitude, and you know, you just want to see him keep winning. But I like our scheme so far. Huh?
AJ said Q doesn't normally talk a lot.
Yeah.
Have that reaction.
100%. You know, he's real quiet, observant. I understand he's just trying to find his way and trying to make sure that you know he do his job. I'm sure and make a good impression. But, yeah, I mean, we've been welcoming. It's not like the old days, like when I first was in here. I used to be scared, boy, when them vets come around because you could end up singing. you can end up holding somebody's shoulder pads or just making sure you keeping the room stocked up on a lot of snacks and stuff. But these days, you just want them to help us win.
Knowing it's your, I'm sorry, John.
Uh-oh.
Knowing it's your last season, is there things you're going to do differently, just to maybe just take it all? And guys talk all the time about how, hey, look around. How do you plan approaching your last season?
Well, I've done everything. I haven't missed no days this off-season program. Enjoying the last little hoorah of everything that I can. I mean, supporting the guys on a lot of stuff that they doing off the field, and just the way how we put this team together, I can feel the good vibe, of, man, he put us in a good position. For this to be my last year, I'm happy to go out with a team like this. And now we just got to put in the work. And, yeah, man, I'm just enjoying every second of this mandatory. I ain't in no rush to go nowhere because at the end of the day, the only time I'm going somewhere is to go take baby girl to gymnastics or baby boy to whatever he got to go to, family stuff. But I'm definitely enjoying just supporting everybody.
How different is it with,
Uh-oh.
how different is it without Fletch and Jason each and every day? So you don't see them.
Well, I just got off the phone with Fletch, so it ain't no different right now. I mean, other than you just got to bring up them younger guys like JC and JD. They doing a good job. I can't wait for JD to get that name up off him because, man, I see him. I see his dedication. I see what he's doing. And JC's coming along even more from his first year to second year. And, man, I'm excited for the future for them because them boys feeding off each other right now. Them boys pushing each other. They got a good coach in Clint. And I really think that last year we just didn't – that's what we didn't have. We didn't have all the right coaches in the right position, I would say. And, you could just see the guys just truly believing in what we got going on. And I'm excited for the young guys that just came in and new rookies coming in because they really going to get a good shot at a good taste of what it really is to be in the NFL.
When you say that thing about the right coaches for the right position, how early do you notice that?
You just notice little stuff last year on certain stuff you wasn't on the same page about. Just here and there, it will pop up, but it popped up in a big way that last game, and it's just like anything I learned, you always want to make sure that we just had a proper communication. So there's a real big communication going on right now within the locker room, on the field, in the classrooms, and I know how he was gonna get it fixed. Because once you notice, you just got to deal with it during the year, and I mean that's how it is. But I don't see none of that at all. I'm more excited about just because we do got Fangio, somebody experienced, real good. I'm not saying that anything about the past, but it was just more like you could just tell that everybody's on the same page about stuff.
How do you think Howie fixed it? You said Howie got it fixed. How did Howie get it fixed?
Just I feel like he always do what he do. He's the wizard, I say. Just trying to figure it out on where we went wrong, being honest, having those hard conversations, and not scared to make certain moves to make sure that when you got a good team like we did and good players, sometimes it don't always reflect that because of us not being on the same page. Sometimes that's the difference in this professional sports. All it takes is one person to mess up on an assignment, and then it costs us the game, stuff like that. And he knew a lot of stuff. We all know. We seen it, and I know he wanted to get it right because who want to look bad for playing for the Eagles? Because we got y'all. Let's go make sure y'all expose every little area that we not good. So I think he did a good job of just bringing the guys in. Really bringing some real good, coaches that's really good, and I'm excited to see where we go.
What are the signs you look for at this point what are the signs you look for right now to make sure that it is going to work, that the right coach?
I see how we play during OTAs right now, how we doing, doing team reps and stuff like that. You could just see that everybody the communication is been really good and flawless almost. I mean, we got some work for sure, but I love that everybody just on the same page and talking the same language in every room on defense. And you can see that the offense is is excited about what they got going too. And it's good competition. You could just see the battles that people, the back and forth, the jabbering back and forth with each other because you're confident in what you know already. Because if I'm confident in myself and knowing the defense, of course I'm gonna go out and talk my stuff to the other guys. But if I'm not as confident, I'm just really overthinking, because I'm trying to figure out what to do every play and not really showing my personality and being that dog that I know I could be. But when I see that with the rookies, I know we headed in the right direction.
Last one from Zach.
Getting back to the offseason program, as someone who's been involved in the PA, what's your view of the proposal to?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think that you need to, like the spring, if you want to do it, keep it at April. Go 5 weeks instead of 8 or 9, whatever it is. And then, we get our summertime. I mean, that's usually a nice little break. People get to go off and do their trip or something like that. Even for the coaches, same thing. It's like, they get a little break too. And I don't think it's good. I think we got to keep that June and July, 4th of July. I mean, last hoorah with your family before you really get into business. But I do know they want to go to 18 games and all that stuff too. If anything, we could just move it up 1 week. Instead of that last week, we could do mid-July. But not giving up, I ain't trying to give up. Well, I wouldn't want to give up if I was still a player next year, June and a little bit of July.
All right. Or is this definitely it?
Well, no, I'm gonna be a part of the Eagles organization for sure. But as a player, I think this will be my last little hoorah. I'm gonna enjoy it too.
All right, thanks, guys.
Does anybody want to take a break before we leave? Want to start? All right. Okay.
Jordan, what's the room been like without Jason Kelee or, OTA stuff?
It's been different. It's kind of weird not having the GOAT there. Kelee was a major part of this organization, and he's going to continue being a part of this city until he decides to be done with Philly. But I don't see that in the future anytime soon. I think in regards as how we're doing in the room, I think we're doing a good job of maintaining the standard. I'm making it pretty clear, Lane's making it pretty clear, Landon's making it pretty clear that before any of us even came to the Philadelphia Eagles, there was a standard that was set, and it was kept up by guys like Jason Kelee, Jason Peters, Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks, Isaac Seumalo, and we have to be able to play to that standard. And I think holding everybody accountable to that standard of coming in, watching film, seeing how the standard is being set by the past, and now we have to fill in their shoes and be the present. And I think we're doing a good job right now of really holding that standard high.
I know it's super early, but with Cam Jurgens in that center, what are you noticing about the way he's communicating to the offensive line and also some other new pieces?
I'm not surprised at all that Cam's doing a great job. He's a center. He's not a right guard, and he's done an outstanding job of filling in and being very vocal. We're big on communication up front, and it starts off with Cam, and he's done a great job of making the calls, and we're just doing a good job of echoing it so everybody's on the same page. And Cam's killing it.
How comparable is Laken's story to your story? And a second part of that question, what's the value of the academy in Australia?
Laken? No, you did right. I was trying to answer the second question before jump the gun. Pretty comparable, except at least I had about 3 months and I came from a semi-pro sport. Laken's coming straight from his Mormon mission. There's a little different there. At least I had experience with routine and what a professional lifestyle of an athlete would be. And then I had 3 months to adjust before I got to the NFL through the IPP program. And he's just walked in off the street. So I would say pretty similar storyline, but he has a more direct pathway. And, speaking about pathways, the NFL Academy in Australia, see what they like how I link those up, guys, right? I'm getting better at this. NFL has done a great job of, continuing to discover talent around the world. And, we're pretty fortunate in Australia to have an NFL Academy in the Gold Coast now to scout, the Asia Pacific region and see what other stories can come from it.
What's it been like getting to know Becton, and what are you seeing,
And
develop?
Kai? Man, Kai's a great dude. And I think we're pretty lucky to have him on this team. Getting to know Kai has been like pretty easy. I feel like I've known him forever. It's just really easy to get along with him. The guy's really funny. He's smart, very athletic. But then, I don't know. It's just like an old friend. He just came in. I only spoke to the bloke two times before he came to the Eagles, and now we speak every day. It's good.
How do you do a guard, a position you never played in the pros?
Mackay, he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job. I mean, you just said it. He's never played guard in the NFL, and we're doing it. Stout's doing a great job of, trying to teach him, multiple positions. Stout always talks about value add, and I think he wants that for Mackay, just to see what else can Mackay do other than tackle. We know he can play tackle. What else can he bring to the table? And Mackay's done a great job of just saying yes. He hasn't questioned him. He's never said, I've never done it. He in fact, embraced the opportunity to learn how to play guard. And, when I see things like that from Mackay, it just makes me want to play next to him if his number was called. Because you want guys who are just going to be willing and able to put the team first before their own needs. I think Mackay does a great job of doing that, even though he has no experience. He's just out here learning. He's grinding. He's chipping away every day, trying to get better at guard. We know he can play tackle.
Jordan, what was that trip back to Australia like?
Pretty far, pretty fast, and pretty fun. It was pretty hectic. I'm not gonna lie. We landed in Australia. It was so great being home, representing the Eagles, representing Australia, and essentially representing America. I'm a product of America now. Well, byproduct, yes. And it was pretty fun to get to go back home and talk about the sport I've grown to love, and spread it with the fans back home. And I got to see my family for a little bit, announce the academy, announce the draft, and then I was back here, back at OTAs the next morning. So.
You spoke a little bit about the leadership part of it, keeping that standard going forward. Did you come into it this year and know Kelsey and said to yourself that maybe I have to step up a little bit from that leadership, or is that just natural?
It's kind of both. I knew we have, the past couple of years we've had great leaders in the room, and I did my best to lead when I could, and just let, we had a phenomenal leader in Kels, El Capitan, and I knew that I was just trying to take notes of everything that Kels was setting. I just literally studied him, how he handled certain situations, how he would coach us in the room, how he would coach us on the field. So coming into this year, losing Kels was a big part of that, but I'd like to think that I've always been kind of like a natural leader. And when we talk about that, we have to talk about the standard that was set before. Kelsey leaving was a big part of, always maintaining that standard. That was his go-to, maintain the standard at practice, walk through the game day. And that's all I'm trying to do now. Because I've learned for the past 6 years under Kelson Lane, I've learned under Fletch, under BG, our captains. I've learned to lead by example, to live by the standard and hold yourself first before you hold others accountable. So I just came into this year, trying to fill that role, but make it my own.
We have one more. A lot of the skill guys have talked about apparent differences with Kellen here now. I guess, how different is it for you guys?
I think it's pretty similar up front for us, with all the terminology. Stout does a good job of, what we had last year and what we have this year, and trying to see what's similar and then talk about the differences so that we're on the same page as everyone. Kellen does a great job of, as far as routes, I couldn't tell you, man. I don't run routes, so I'm not going to tell you here, yeah, man, we're running middle field, or we're running out, or we're running post. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you guys. I don't know. I do know he loves to play action, and I do know he loves to run the ball. I do know he loves to pass the ball. So it's a good mix right now of everything, and excited to go, come back in training camp and get the ball rolling.
Thanks, Jordan. We have Kelee coming up next.
Hey Dallas, how difficult has it been with the new offense and sort of trying to mesh what Nick was doing and Brian and now Kellen and Doug Nussmeyer?
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job of, taking the things we did well from our past offense and making sure we kept the important things of that. And, Kellen's done a good job of installing his offense, what he wants, what he thinks is going to be beneficial for us. I think the coaches have done a good job of teaching it, regrouping it so it makes sense for all of us. But anytime you put in a new offense, there's going to be a little bit of learning curves with different verbiage. Stuff meant something different than it did now. So you work through those things. But as we go throughout the phase 2 and phase 3, when we started doing walkthroughs and stuff, the first couple times hearing formations, plays, it gets a little tough. But after you hear it a couple times, it smooths itself out, and it kind of becomes second nature. You just start to relearn it and go out there and start playing fast again.
Most about tight ends specifically in the role of offense?
Yeah, there's definitely different stuff for us. Obviously, we're moving around trying to get tells with the defense. Getting into those quick throws to the tight ends has probably been one of my favorite things that we added into it. I think those can be beneficial for the tight ends and the whole team as a general. So that's probably what I'd have to say.
What kind of things did you do to kind of get ready for this season? I know like the last 2 years, obviously you had the injuries, freak injuries and stuff like that, but was there anything different you did this offseason to get ready?
Yeah, not really. This offseason, I had to spend time trying to get my arm right. It wasn't 100% at the end of the season, so I gave that time to rest. And then, just came into this OTA phase ready to work, ready to learn, ready to, take all the coaching points I can get. And then, I'm going to really focus on everything that I learned, everything that the coaches tell me, everything they want me to improve on, work on. And, once we close from OTAs, our mandatory minicamp now, spend my summer, like AJ says, just pick one thing a day and work on that and just try to slowly improve 1% each day of a different thing that coaches give me to work on.
Dallas, I'm not sure if you heard BG at the very end there when we asked about the new schedule and at least that suggestion or report. How do you feel about it? Have you read that? Have you seen it? And how would you feel about it?
Yeah, I've looked at it a little bit, and it's kind of one of those things where I can see both sides of it. I can see the positives of both. My one thing is you come in here, you do all this football stuff, you get in shape, and then we have a month and a half off, and it's why do we get in such good shape now? We got to stay in shape for the next month and a half where I see a benefit of a wrap-up period. But like BG said, it's nice, that give us a lot of time off before the June or July where we'd come back. So it is nice to have a little bit of structure in between the seasons, coming into OTAs now. And I think it's really important as a team to be able to grow and connect in this period where I feel like if we just come back in July, even though it's supposed to be a ramp-up period, when you get back and you don't have a break before the season, the fun and games kind of go away and it's just all seriousness because, the season is so close at that point.
So what do you notice out of Jalen to this point, and maybe how the end of last season has shaped?
Yeah, I think Jalen's been doing an incredible job this offseason. Same thing as the rest of us. He's open. He's a sponge. He's trying to learn everything he can, and you can see him transitioning from the meeting rooms to the field. Whether it's a correction, whether it's an install, something like that. He's not a guy that wants to make the same mistake twice. So he's out there. He's making sure he gets better every single play, and that just helps elevate the rest of the team. Because if he doesn't want any mistakes, that just puts more pressure on us, making sure we're in the right spot at the right time. So I think he's been doing a great job making sure that everybody gets on the same page and everybody knows what they're doing, so stuff that happened last year doesn't happen again.
Has there been anything that's happening away from the facility, or just so that you guys can build a new culture for this team?
Yeah, I'd say probably the biggest thing that we've been doing this year is getting out golfing with a lot of people. Saquon's been really big into it, and it seems like once a week we get a group of 10, 15, 20 guys that go out there and are playing together, and that's just a great time of you can make fun of other people's swings. You can sit in a cart. You're there outside for 4 hours. Try not to be on your phone. And it's just a great time to, learn a little bit more about your teammate and, do something that's fun and a little bit of you can challenge and compete doing it as well.
Dallas, going into year 7 for you, what's the next step for you as a player?
Yeah, just continue to try to make this team as good as I can. And, we want to make a run. That's the most important thing. It starts one day at a time. But for me, winning is the most important thing. The personal accolades are something that, everybody wants, but they don't mean as much to me. We got a really special team. So whatever I can do to help everybody on our team, we might have to throw it to AJ and Schmitty 150 times each, and that's good with me as long as we're winning.
Two more guys. The spring that Capitaire is having, what has stood out to you about Grant?
Yeah, I think Grant's been having a great spring. He came ready. He looks smooth. It's just kind of one of that steps. As he's going into his third year. He hasn't played a ton of football, but throughout last year and the year before, he gets mixed in here and there. And I think this year, without Jack being here, he's getting more reps on offense. He's getting more routes. And, yeah, he's looking really good. So it's something that I hope he continues to grow on, and I hope in camp that he comes back looking just like this so we can get more two tight ends on the field and have a strong push that way.
All right. Thanks, guys.
What was your reaction when they drafted you guys in first and second round at your position? How did you kind of process that?
And it's a great opportunity to compete more, Of course, every single person brought in the building is a great player. And, of course, with our coach's evaluations of players, so I just feel like each and every single day it's ultimately going to get our group better. So that's it.
How much more comfortable do you feel right now than you did at this time last year?
Man, huge. I feel like the best thing that can help you with that is definitely reps, So having a year under my belt has definitely helped me be able to be more calm with my play. And I'm also just seeing what offenses are doing against me and strategies and things like that.
What are the differences that you notice in your own game from year one to year two?
I would say a little bit more my patience, my process in the game. When the ball's hot, I'm not having to think as much as I used to. So I feel like that just slows the game a lot more for me. So you're able to play faster when you think less.
You got a chance to play some serious reps at the end of the year. When you look back on that, how do you evaluate yourself? How do you think you did?
I feel like I played pretty decent, but I feel like there's always room to get better, specifically at the corner position. I feel like it's arguably one of the hardest positions on the field. So just little things like coming out of my breaks, being able to see what offense they're doing against me, seeing formations, and just learning concepts and things like that can definitely help me play at a higher level than I did last year as well.
What about the competition in the room now with, not only you and Rex, but also, the two new guys? Like, how does that make you guys all better, or does it?
Yeah, I definitely would say the only thing it does is get us better, because everything's up for grabs. I feel like just having the opportunity to be able to compete for everything that everybody wants. I feel like that definitely brings the best out of every single person out here, especially with our offense as well, with how deep our receiver room is as well. Man, you're getting a lot of different looks, too, so it feels really good.
It looks like you and AJ had some really good reps against each other yesterday. How valuable is it to go against a receiver like that on a daily basis?
As you guys know, he's a great all-pro receiver. I feel like just going against a guy like that every single day can only help me get better, as well as last year on scout team too. It definitely helped me elevate my game, which actually gave me the opportunity to be able to play. So yeah, going against AJ is a great opportunity.
You mentioned the patience part of it. As a first-year player, wondering how much urgency was kind of part of that, trying to get acclimated. What urgencies? I don't know. What was that like, kind of reaching to a point of patience?
Man, really being able to trust yourself out there. Trust your training. And what you're learning on the inside of the room. I feel like, and once you're able to do that more and play more comfortable out there, I feel like once you know something more, whether it's the playbook or what offense is trying to do against you, you're able to digest it a lot easier and faster. So you're not able to, so you're not thinking as much after the ball is snapped. So I feel like when you're able to do that, you're able to just go. I feel like that's when you play better.
Were there moments that you had to kind of let go of the people that helped you through that?
100%.
Kelee, outside of the on-field competition, are there other ways in which AJ has helped you develop?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Outside of the on-field competition, anything off the field, ways in which AJ is helping you develop?
Yes, sir. Man, just how we're out here carrying ourselves, everyday life, honestly. Of course, being out there, just living in Philly, things like that. We're just not normal people. I definitely would say just the way that you carry yourself on the outside of the building and on the inside of the building could definitely just help you character-wise. So.
Kelee, when AJ was here earlier, it kind of lit up when we asked about how you've developed. You've already talked about it in regards to how much more comfortable you are. But he also mentioned that you have like a different step. Do you feel physically stronger, better, more prepared this year? And if so, why?
Sir, I definitely do. I do feel like I am. I feel like the main thing I would say is just having a little bit more experience. After you get it underneath your belt, you kind of know what things look like. You kind of know what to expect. And I feel like as a rookie last year, it was kind of like, man, of course I'm ready for any challenge and every single one that comes to me. But being able to have experience and seeing what it looks like can definitely help you apply better when the time comes.
If you go back to last year, you came out as a 20-year-old junior, right? How do you think being here in the NFL, having that developmental year compared to, or I guess benefited you compared to had you stayed at Georgia one more year?
Definitely got to grow fast. I feel like that's one of the biggest things. And man, it's either do or die. That's the best way I could. That's the best way I could explain it. So.
After the season was over, how did you approach your offseason? What did you surround yourself with? Did you kind of how to process and work through things?
Just surrounding myself around people that can only help me get better at my craft. I feel like that's the main thing. I like keeping the main thing. And I feel like just whether it's strategy, seeing different kind of concepts for offenses, formations, things like that. I just really want to open my brain up to things like that.
What are your impressions of Vic Fangio so far?
He's an old school coach, and I definitely like that about him for sure. He has a scheme and he has strategies of the way he coaches, and I like that he sticks to that. And all of us are definitely ready to buy into that.
How much of a benefit will it be for the rookies to have Slay kind of take them under his wing?
Great, just like how I had him last year, and I actually will continue to. Didn't mean to say I had him last year, but man, Slay's a good. I definitely would say he's a good vet. He's real vocal when you ask him to be. Just able to pick his brain. I feel like it almost feels like he has the answer for everything that you ask him. So I feel like it's a good vessel to be able to have.
What about the non-football piece of being 20, coming to a new city, having some money, being away from home, all that stuff? How challenging was that, if at all, and how did you kind of navigate through that?
I feel like the best way to explain it is just do the right thing. I feel like there's a fine line whether you're doing it or not. And I feel like taking that upon yourself can definitely help you be able to be successful no matter what it is. So.
I think because of your size that your speed is underestimated?
I'm not too sure. I feel like no matter where I'm at, I feel like I'm pretty fast. So.
Cool. Thanks, Kelee.
Afternoon.
What's up?
What are your impressions of Vic Fangio so far?
I don't know. So far, I got a great impression. He's throwing a lot at us right now. So just him being a complicated guy with his scheme, trying to just be expansion. I think he's doing a great job with mixing it up, adding new things, and just keeping it coming.
Vic mentioned that to us, that he likes to throw a lot at you guys early and sort of whittle it down from there. Is that rare in your experience, or is that?
I think I was in one place for a long time, and I think we kind of learned little by little and mastered it, and then moved on and worked off of what we learned. But doing it this way is fine as well. It just make you have to be a little more tedious, study a little more, outside of the building, meet with your coaches a little more in your free time. So I like what he's doing. It makes everybody be accountable of their job.
Different that's been asked of you in this role?
I don't know. I think it's the same thing. As far as calling the plays, when we go dime, being a lonesome linebacker out there and making checks and stuff still. Playing a lot of the same coverage, similar coverages, kind of just doing a lot of the similar things. He's putting in more packages now as far as blitzing linebackers, blitzing this person. So at the end of the day, I think football is just football. You just got to learn new words. I think at the end of the day, cover 3 is cover 3, cover 9 is cover 9. But Vic might call it one thing that I'm not used to hearing, but I got to learn his way.
What conversation or deal was made with Mailata to get 45?
Man, I just told him, the reason behind it, why I embrace it so much. And, he was very understanding, he's a great guy. He said he was happy to have me on his team, and, he didn't see no problem with letting me get in it. But kudos to him. Anything he needs, I'm in depth to him big time.
For you personally, what's it like playing in this defense? What do you think about the guys around you? How's that working out?
For me personally, it's been very fun, just coming in and obviously gaining those guys' trust that's been here, and obviously the new guys as well. Playing with a lot of dogs, a lot of highly touted players that's coming out of college or that have been in the league. You got the young guys, you got the older guys like, Slay, a couple of those guys who's been doing it for a long time. And I think it's a mixture of both worlds, all over the field. And I think just having that young leadership, that older leadership, and the middle leadership, I feel like we could be special together. And I think that's kind of been like the carryover into OTAs and minicamp is just having fun, and having an identity and a swagger about ourselves.
Todd Bowles said at the owners' meetings that you needed to change the scenery. Do you feel like that was the case? And if so, what has the change of scenery done for you?
I mean, I don't know if I needed to change the scenery, but I feel like it was definitely good. A breath of fresh air, to be able to start over and, work my way from the ground up. It ain't nothing like life humbling experiences. And I feel like what I went through at the end of the last year was very humbling for me and obviously just put me back to the root of everything, where I want to build myself back up. And I know I can do it. I did it coming out of high school. I did it coming out of college. I did it when I first got in the NFL, and it's time to do it again. And that's the guy that's always had my back. And if he said that, then I really agree because he knows best. Like I say, he was a father figure to me, still to this day, check in on me. And I think this new scenery is good. I'm with a great organization. I'm around great people every day. I already had a lot of friends on this team, so it's good to get a chance to play with them. And hopefully I don't have to keep changing sceneries.
Do you feel like in this defense there are as many opportunities to rush the passer that you had with the Bucs?
I feel like Coach Vic is a player. If you're good at something, he gonna make sure he exploit it. So if I'm good at rushing the passing and I show him I can win, I feel like he'll put a lot of things in to get it going. But man, in camp, I kind of been trying to show him that, but it's only 7-on-7, so it's not a whole lot I can do. And I think my mindset is for training camp is to come back and be dominant. And anytime I get a pass rush situation, just so he can implement that. Because at the end of the day, I'm still trying to solidify myself. Nothing is being given to nobody out there right now. I feel like we all trying to earn it. We've been doing a lot of mix and matches to see who good at where. And I feel like I'm just trying to show it everything I can do because I just want to be on the field.
You mentioned that you hope to be here more than 1 year. How much is that on your mind that maybe if things go well, you can get an extension at some point?
I think it's not on my mind at all, and I think that was where I had trouble at last year. Just trying to be their guy last year rather than going out there and continuing to have fun with the game and making plays. Like I think that's where being a great football player is when you out there smiling and celebrating and not really focus on the business side. I feel like if you have fun, the business side take care of itself. And that was my first time being in a business situation. And I don't think I handled it well. I handled it more like a lawyer than I should have been just a football player. And now I'm just back to being a football player and smiling every day and just just being a light around the building, just being someone everybody can count on, and that's what I want to hold my hat on this year.
Last one here. Been one other place, Devin, aside from the new scheme and the new teammates, what are the ways behind the scenes that this organization is different than another place you've been?
I think everybody unique in their own way, and just piggybacking here. I think a lot of the unique things about being in Philly is it's a little more. I don't know. It's just a little more. It's different. They carry themselves in a professional way, and I respect it. And I love seeing Howie around the building a lot, and just being real hands on. Mr. Lurie, he's always on the field, being hands on, and I think it's a family atmosphere, and I can get used to that because I'm a family oriented guy. And not saying where I come from wasn't like that, but that's one of the main things that has stuck out here. And since OTAs, we've been doing a lot of things to give back. A lot of things they doing in the community. I feel like they really care about the city and being great, and that's one thing that I kind of like as well. When we went out and painted the other day, that was a good feeling to be here. And we care about ball. We're here for ball, but they also want to take us to give back. Like, hey, we're gonna take a day off of ball and we're gonna go get in the community, and we're gonna take and I feel like that's big. That's meaning that they care. And obviously I care. I'm invested here now, and I just want to keep it going.
All right, thanks, guys. We have to get